Welcome, everybody. Normally we get together on a Tuesday, but this week it's a Thursday. But we are still talking about trekking in Nepal. And today we're looking at a little bit of a different experience in Nepal where you get off the beaten track and you start to look at those treks that maybe are less well known or not as popular or a little bit further out, a little bit more difficult to get to. But to kind of illustrate the point of the topic today, we will focus on talking about Upper Mustang Trek, but Dinesh might well add in a little bit more as well. And before I turn over to Dinesh to introduce himself, my name is Michelle Hill, and I'm a travel coach and an AI consultant. And my, I guess, love affair is the right word with Nepal started way back in 2015 when I got on a plane in Brisbane and I went to Kathmandu and I trekked to Everest Base Camp. And I really didn't have any idea what I was doing, but I just knew that I wanted to challenge myself and to prove to myself I could do it. And I was expecting that this was going to be, a physical challenge, and I would just go, yeah, that was great at the end. What I didn't really expect was how much of a mental challenge it was and how much it helped me to grow and change as a person. So they're my first thoughts. And, from that time in Nepal, my personal development journey has continued on, and that's what led me into coaching. And I did return to Nepal to trek Annapurna Circuit a couple of years later. I haven't been back for a while, but very soon. Anyway, I'm going to turn over to Dinesh Karki now, and he is the owner of Nature Explore Trek.
Good morning and namaste from Kathmandu. Thank you, Michelle, to host this meeting and involve me also as a talking about Upper Mustang from Nepal side. Yeah, those who doesn't know my name, well, if I'm saying myself, I'm from Nepal, of course, the eastern part of Nepal, where Mount Everest is located. Everyone knows that big guy. The standing border with Nepal and Tibet, China. So I was born and grew up at that village called Basa, where I was born. And then since my early age, when I was about 13 or 14 years old child, so I involved in this sector and tourism sector. I mean, the beginning, of course, nobody can be like a professional. Nobody can be like a big guy and guiding and telling this information. So as I was a porter, I started as porter to carry the bag of trekkers from Lukla to Everest Base Camp in my early age, couple of years. And then after I finished my school, where only available 10 class in my hometown. Then after I have to come for the city for the read more if I want, like study more. For high school, I came to Kathmandu. At the meantime, I work as porter, continue not only in every region, all over the Nepal, especially Annapurna, Kanchenjunga, Manaslu, Makalu, like where the big mountains are. Spent like nearly 10 years as a porter and then helping in kitchen, the cooking food, serve, and then learn. That was my most precious time to learn things and build these skills to become a guide or accomplish all this experience and crossing so many different steps. Then finally, I became a guide where I got like a government authorities license where I can handle the group in the mountains of Nepal, Tibet, and Bhutan, India. So where we can operate the groups. So one of the toppest levels company in Nepal, we were working long time, almost 10 to 12 years. After all the experience and learning and getting so many advice from our clients who we took them to the mountains. So me and my one of colleague, if I'm tell his name is Bharat. So we both decided to establish our own small organization. Now where we are now as Nature Explore Trek. So aiming with so many different providing different service in the market. We saw so many different service already, and then some services, some knowledge are not fulfilled there, right? So we came with different knowledge, and we're aiming to provide still better than a difference than others. With big aim, we established our nature expert track since 2015. At the same time, it was the big earthquake in Nepal, if everyone remember still. But we were at the first beginning that day, that years, and I think where Michelle and I met next year after we established our company. Since 2015, we're running our own company, and we meet more than thousands trekkers at pilgrims tours, like like all over. And then more than 19% of our customers are happy. So we have very recommended in our social medias like TripAdvisor or any Google reviews or any videos or anything. We're already in the market. We're already in the online. So anyone wants to see what we're doing, so you can also see it is really accessible and available all the time. So also, I'm sorry if I'm saying long.
Fine.
So during this my journey, I've been traveling few other countries, including the West Europe, few times, and then also there also we have done some trek. I mean like a different experience for me totally. I'm guide from Nepal, but when I'm go there and do some trekking, it's totally different than here. And also we are success in organizing big trips, which start from east to west Nepal, and it's called GST. That's short full form is GST. If I say full form of long, Great Himalayan Trail. That means you start from eastern Nepal and ending in the western last part of Nepal. The both are the border with India, but we're just on the line of the Himalayas,
Right.
crossing 5,000-meter high mountains, 6,000 high mountains, a lot of valleys, up and downs, crossing suspension bridge, big rivers. Of course, it comes, but it is one of the challenging trip. Normal people cannot do it, and normal organization cannot organize this type of trip. The only
Yeah.
were the mountain guides, our team of our experts. The only possible is about 1,800 kilometers in 5 months. But some people take 6 months. We only take 5 months because of this happened with our team. Without our team, it was not possible. That was one of our memorial trip. And we have so many other trips also, like organizing big, like hundreds, 70, 50 people or groups. We're taking the west part of Tibet called Mount Kailas. Mount
Yeah.
Kailas is a holy mountain. So it is the best time is May to June. That time we took so many groups. So well, that's we are doing, and we're very happy, and I'm very happy to leading my team and sharing my experience and swing our mountains to the adventure lovers peoples. So that's what we're doing. So I want to tell now here. So if anyone is interested to know about Nepal or me or our team or anything about adventure, we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And as I'm sure you can appreciate if you're watching this, that Dinesh has an absolute wealth of not only experience but knowledge as well. And what was the 1,800-kilometer one? GH what? The Great
GST,
Right.
Great Himalayan Trail.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would imagine that not many trekking companies would offer that as an
Yeah.
option because it is
No.
quite different.
Very
Um,
different, very difficult in documents also, in organization also, everything is challenging.
right. But I guess for somebody who's done quite a few treks, maybe not all in Nepal, but is looking for an ultimate challenge, something like that, that would be just like the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to challenge the biggest trip in life, let's join the GST, like Great Himalayan
Okay.
Trail of Nepal.
Okay. So as I mentioned at the start, we thought we would focus a little bit more on Upper Mustang today because that is one of the more off the beaten track tours. I nearly said I lost my train of thought then. So when people do a trek like that, Dinesh, um, is it more possible, but is it more likely that they'll have be able to connect more with the locals and spend more time like immersing themselves in the culture.
Yeah. Yes. Like as I'm used to telling and saying, trekking is not only showing the mountains. When you are into the valley, into the area, and on a way along the route, you will meet so many different things. Like let's say culture, of course. So before you reach to the mountains, you will cross so many different villages and different cultural things like a monastery, a museum, and traditional stops, local daily lifestyles. So when we crossing, of course, we can anyone interested people can stop in the village. Like let's say we stay overnight and stay there, connect with the local people and sharing the matters each other, communicate, and it always make wonder because of you might not listen like hear this kind of religious things before because everyone have their own religion, right? So but in the mountain those people who live they have totally different religion. I mean like they have own traditions, own culture, own lifestyle, but this will be totally attractive for the tourist as it is really beautiful, really nice, and then you also feel it, you know and then the culture on mountain, of course, is more Buddhism, as the people live in the mountains are more Buddhist, as
Yeah.
in my experience. So along the way, you can also go into the monastery as a temple. So
Okay.
there is big statues of Gautam Buddha, father of the Buddhist religions. And then also there is so many different paintings and explaining about lifestyle, explaining about the human life, explaining about our karma. There is so many different things. So it makes you so a lot of peace and quiet in your mind. You are not only coming here for seeing the mountains view,
Yeah.
including mountain views. You are also having on other hands, the religions and culture will give you the peace and quiet, and then meditate when you are there. So
Yeah.
that means you also have a good time to learn something new in your life.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
that's
how like if the people who fly into Kathmandu, how do you get to Upper Mustang?
that's we stay in our itinerary. Let's say Michelle is planning for coming to Upper Mustang sometime, so we will make a plan together through the online or computer or emailing. Then after, of course, we will welcome to the Kathmandu with our one of the some of our team, like my sometime could be also myself or anyone, and then we will drop the transfer to the hotel in Kathmandu, and we need 1 day for preparation of
Yeah.
trek, like for documents as Upper Mustang is a restricted area, so we need special permits, which is
Okay.
even expensive also.
Yeah.
So per day they charge $50, and then we need 2 takers to obtain the permit. 1 takers also can go, but anyhow need to buy 2 permits. So how it works in Nepal is still. And then after prepare all the documents, and then we will fly or drive to Pokhara at the west part of Nepal. So and then from Pokhara also we will take another short flight, scenic to the Johnson, and then from there you can there is Upper Mustang now is 2 options. You can also walk or explore, or you can also drive and explore the valley because
Right.
as a route, the car road is rich, close to the village, close to the mountains, close to the every
Okay.
town now. So if let's say if you go by walk, it takes about 10 to 12 days to complete
Yeah.
the whole trip. And if you go by drive, it's just 1 week as you're going
Right.
quicker by drive. So
Okay.
that means uh, the last part of the trip is Mount Lamantang. Lamantang is the king like headquarter of the Upper Mustang, where you will spend a couple of days and explore the monastery, museum, and mountains. And then you come back down so many different routes. You don't have to come back same way. You can also return from the other side of the mountains. So it is
Okay.
by walk, it's 10 to 12 days. By drive, 7 to 8 days in total.
Okay. So that sounds like it might be suitable for Tim and I. Because
Yeah,
Tim's not keen on trekking for long distances, so we
the
could
drive would be nice.
put him in the Jeep every day and send him
Yeah,
off. We can
yeah,
trek.
yeah.
No, that sounds great. And the other thing I just wanted to bring up too about Upper Mustang is the time of year because when monsoon is on, there's a lot of trails that people can't trek because they're dangerous and they're wet or they're flooded. But Upper Mustang during the monsoon is okay to go.
Yes, it's doable because of Upper Mustang is at the plateau of Tibet, the border with Tibet. So as we experience and seeing less rain than other part of the Nepal.
Yeah,
That means you can do the season for Upper Mustang start from April, May, June, and
right.
then July and first August is not recommended because of as your trekking start from the lower part of the Nepal, right? You're planning
Yeah,
to come to Kathmandu and then go to Pokhara or like from Pokhara to take another flight to Thompson. It can be disturbed because of July and August is quite heavy rain in Nepal.
right. Yeah,
Okay, but September is beginning of September, October, and November is fine.
yeah,
But winter is not recommended because it is as mountain close to the mountains, so it couldn't be cold, and then it will be snowing, so it's not favorable in the winter.
yeah.
Now,
Okay.
also the local people will not stay in winter at that town. Every town will be almost empty
Okay.
because they will come down to the cities for skip the cold. And
Right.
but one person will not leave the home because they have to look after their animals and then just make a small fire to make like a clean house or blah blah. But now new young generations they don't like to stay in winter in Upper Mustang. Most of the grandma, grandfather will be there if we go there at that time. That is the different experience
Okay.
because the world generation still love their hometown rather than coming down to the commercial cities.
Yeah.
Okay, that is
Oh, that's interesting. And what about, we hear a lot these days about sustainability and responsible trekking. So what are your thoughts and comments around that?
wow, this is very important. Yeah, sustainability tourism is the most important in Nepal, right? So let's say if I'm give the one small example. So when I was start trekking as a porter or a guide, so I can saw the glaciers or snow very close to the like trekking ending point. But
Yeah,
same thing now after 22 years today, if I go same place and see the glaciers and snow, it's very difficult to meet or see them because they
okay.
already melted, they already gone far away. The glacier is already moved somewhere. That means it's convert into the more like marine, like
Yeah.
more stones. You know what happened? This is all from the global warming. And then if we really want to save this our nature for our next generation, for my son, for my nephew, we really have to consider about sustainable tourism. For sustainable tourism, every trekkers or every guides have to know aware about how do we save our nature, right?
Yeah.
Let's say the first thing is garbage, of course. Let's say, like so many trekkers go on trekking. If we inform them on the departure meeting, maybe they will take extra plastic bag with them and then they will keep their garbage in the plastics and put in the dumping. Well, they don't have to carry whole on crate, but they can still drop in the places where available, and they're not throwing the plastics or like tin or anything which cannot be disposed, right? So these things, if we consider and save by each individual trekkers, can be helpful for our sustainable tourism. But let's say if I'm saying example, even in Annapurna, Everest, or anywhere, our Nepalese government or any local government from the area, or sometimes some trekkers that are not considered because they just throw the garbage anywhere, which
Yeah.
cannot be disposed. So it stay like many years, and then it's impact to our nature, and then it will be make so many difference. Well, not soon, but in the longer time,
Yeah.
maybe in our life that we can still see the mountains like Mount Everest, Lhotse, Nuptse, Amadablam, Annapurna, anywhere. But my son or my daughter or my nephews will not see same things because they will miss it if we don't look after them now.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts. We must have to look after our nature, and culture, and for this we have to be consider and we have to tell our tourists or any clients that we're going to take to the
Yeah.
mountains in briefing about these things also.
Yeah. And
You
I
want to
think
say?
I think from my perspective that, there is this understanding now that whenever you visit a country, you need to be respectful of the country and to look after it so that it is there for coming generations to enjoy. Now, thank you very much for that, Dinesh. That's given us a really good insight into some of the off the beaten track type things. What I just quickly wanted to mention too is that whilst Dinesh and his crew have worked out, like, if you like to call them, set itineraries for different areas, we're quite happy to organize a bespoke individual itinerary for you. If you want to combine a couple of different areas, or you want to spend more time, say in Upper Mustang, or you want to do Upper Mustang and you would like to do, Gorapani, Poon Hill, and see the sunrise view, we're quite capable of mixing it all up for you, so you get to do the experience that you want to do. So I hope that's been helpful for you. And if you have any questions, or you want to plan your very own adventure, somewhere around this video, there'll be a link to get in touch with us. Or if you can't find that, it is natureexploretrek.com/contact. And then that will get to Dinesh. And then if we need to organize a catch up and have a talk to you, we can do that as well. So next week, what are we going to talk about? Oh, logistics and preparation, what you need to know before you come trekking in Nepal. So we will be talking about what to bring, permits, all that sort of thing next week when you join us. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Dinesh.
You're welcome.
Katrina, did you have any questions or comments, or we'll just have a chat afterwards?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was muted or not. I was just going to comment, because I did read something a while ago that said that, around the time when Tenzing Norgay and Hillary, summited Mount Everest, apparently Everest Base Camp was all green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, now it's just like rocks and dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
but
great.
but before, yeah, apparently it was green. I'm not sure if Dinesh has heard of that before either, but that's what I've not seen photos, but
No. Well, I guess back in the 50s, they weren't big into color photos, were they?
no,
Yeah.
no, exactly.
Okay, well, we might wrap it up there. So thank you, everyone, for joining us or watching the replay, and we will be back Tuesday next week.
Yeah. See you, everyone.